Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another week of Wild and Wacky Chit Chats with the twins here. I'm Krista, and I am sitting on the beach here at Buffalo Pound. It is just a gorgeous, gorgeous morning, and I am very apologetic because I don't have any way of seeing your comments here unless, by the grace of God, they will show up on here. So it's already warm out. I better see what time I'm starting here. 8 o'clock. And it's pretty warm already. And I hope the sunshine on here isn't too distracting. It's just gorgeous. Yesterday was probably the hottest day I've experienced in Saskatchewan here for a long time. Maybe because we were camping and it was hot. Thank goodness for AC. And so we had a busy day outside. The water behind you looks really lovely. It looks clear. It looks perfect, but it is actually pretty grungy this time of year. I think the heat has really stirred up a lot. And when a boat would go by, it would send in these waves of like green water. Good morning, Kara. I believe you must be on here. Anyways, we went swimming in the water and we didn't care. We had 2 showers yesterday because it was so hot out, and we just did what we needed to do to allow our sweet bodies to put up with the heat happening. And today could be the same sort of a day. And yesterday was actually a pretty up and down roller coaster day for us. It was just me and the girls because Tyler had to run back to Davidson. And I don't know about you guys, but when you go on holidays, you have a lot of expectations about what it's going to be like and what it's going to look like and what you're going to do. And even more so for kids. Actually, that's not even necessarily true. They're just more vocal about it. But I've been kind of butting heads with my oldest daughter. She's 10, going on 17. And we were really button heads quite a bit. She just wanted to do everything like the first day, and I wanted to control it and resist and react to it in every which way possible, which didn't work out so good, I have to say. And I was aware of what I was doing, and I chose to do it anyways so that I could be right because I was the mom. So I guess today what I really want to talk about is simplifying your life even further. And one of the greatest tools to do that is to know the people that surround you. Like, know who they are, know what they're like, and then you can be ready to out manipulate them, like, funny for me to say that now because yesterday in the moment I was so limited in my own beliefs and my own barriers that I put up around me and my need to be right. Like, really what it came down to was my need to be right because I am the mom and you will listen to me. Well, it didn't really work out for anyone, you know, but it was a really great lesson learned nonetheless. So, um, like, just right away, it was like the kids, they want to go to the candy store. And I said, no, like, pump the brakes. We literally just got here. And actually, what a lot of it has to do with is all of the like junk food that you eat. Like, they wanted to go to the candy store. They wanted to, like, they just really didn't want to eat any food. They just wanted to eat a bunch of junk food. And in retrospect, I kind of wish I would have just let them eat as much as they wanted so then they would have been like sick. No, I don't really wish that would have happened, but anyways, I guess I like got so mad. I got so mad and like we were just bickering all day. And finally, my 8-year-old is like, oh, you guys quit fighting. And I was just like, wow, what a smack across the head. Like what a great realization and what a gift it was for her to step in and and just to acknowledge that we're acting like I was acting like a child too, like having to be right. And when Cammie said, you guys stop fighting, it's annoying, I was like, oh, you're right, it's so annoying, isn't it? And so it's like, take the person that you seem to resist and react to all the time. And for me, for whatever reason, yesterday it was my 10-year-old. And just like, I know that when we go on a trip, that it's going to be tough. Like, and everything that brings up times a gazillion. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. I know it's going to be tough. Therefore, it is. Like, what a grand and glorious creator I am, right? So being one step ahead of the other person and knowing that they're gonna, like for me yesterday, knowing my kids are going to want to do absolutely everything the first day, knowing that they're never satisfied in the moment and they're always wondering about the next thing that they want to do, knowing that. And then asking, how can I use this reality to my advantage? What is possible here? I was not in question yesterday, I will admit. I never asked any questions. I actually, like, at one point, remember kind of begging for the day to lighten up, not asking how it can happen, just being like, going into all sorts of drama in my head about we're supposed to be, on this lovely getaway vacation, and all I'm doing is fighting with my kid all day, and it's so hot out, and and like just eating a pile of poop, basically. And so it's like, look at that person in your life. Like, think of someone right now in your life. While I have a sip of coffee. That just knows how to get under your skin. Like, that just knows how to push every last button that you got going on. And just really flip that on its head. Instead of you resisting and reacting to that person, which I could have done yesterday, is to step one, drop your barriers. So your barriers are all your fixed points of views, all your beliefs, all your knowing how something is going to be. Dropping your barriers and then being willing to ask, what is this? Like, what is this inviting me to right now? What is this? What can I do with it? Can I change it? And if so, how? Like, would it have killed me to let my kids just go to the candy store right away? Would it have killed me to let them have some junk food right away? I made it seem like so precious to them by not letting them have it. And it just made it suck for everyone. And so, if someone is like always grumpy or always whiny, sometimes we call my 10-year-old complaino because she complains a lot. So what if you could just drop your barriers and just allow them to fall down to the ground, get out of your way, and expand yourself beyond all of that? Like, really, would an infinite being choose to constantly fight and bicker with someone? No, so why the hell do we, I needed to hear that one today. And expanding beyond everything. So pushing yourself out in every direction, beyond all the drama and trauma, beyond having to be right, beyond having a point of view about what it means to be a mom or a dad or a teacher or a sister or a brother or an aunt or an uncle or, whatever your job title is. Like, we make these things really significant, and like, yes, I'm the mom. So yes, I'm here to guide my children. But they're also infinite beings who are very aware of what they desire and require. And if they're not, then they learn their lesson, right? And like, we're here to guide our children the best we can, but there's also a time to back down a little bit and simplify everyone's life. But a funny thing, just how I saw, like, how much we can just go in our head and stop the flow of life. I came here yesterday morning and had like the most awesome morning. Went back to the campsite and find two little girls just beside themselves. Where have you been? Like, the day just started that way. Where have you been? Where have you been? We're not allowed to do anything. Their dad was sleeping in the camper. They asked him if they could make waffles, go walk across this little bridge, which is right by our campsite, go for a bike ride. And he said no, because in his mind, he's in the camper, he's sleeping, he can't see them. He doesn't know where I am and when I'll be back. And so they just pouted. Like, they were miserable. They sat there and they just, like, they were so upset. So upset with me, so upset with their dad, so upset with the whole trip. They wanted to go back home. They didn't really want to go back home, but I asked, should we go back home? And Izzy's like, I don't care. I don't care. And so I got back and I was in such a good mood because it'd been such a lovely morning. And I was like, whoa, what is going on here, girls? And Izzy just told me everything that happened, and they weren't allowed to do anything. And I was like, well, did you ask any questions? Did you, like, look at where you are, for one. Even if you weren't allowed to go do any of that stuff that your dad said, look at where you are. Like, there are so many possibilities waiting to happen that you haven't even considered yet, because you are so fixed and focused on the fact that you can't make waffles, you can't go for a bike ride, and you can't go across the bridge. Like, these kids love exploring, and they love looking for, like, the squirrels, and they love going on little adventures. They love telling stories. They love playing games. Well, they didn't do any of that because all they could see is what they weren't allowed to do, which was make waffles, walk across the bridge, and go for a bike ride. And I said, one of the biggest things that you guys kind of made a mistake was asking your dad who's sleeping. Like, you guys know, like, we'll be sitting around the campfire and they can go bike around and they can go walk across the bridge, and, and they've made their own breakfast every morning. They asked their dad, who was sleeping, who was probably really grumpy because he was woken up. That was your big mistake, I said. Why did you ask him? You know that you can normally do this stuff, so why did you need permission in that moment? And then why did you let that totally stop and ruin your whole morning? And don't we do that? Like, don't we let other people control us so we think. So someone says one thing and we decide that it means all these other things. But all they said is one thing. And did they even actually mean it? Like, did that even belong to them? Because 99% of our thoughts, feelings, and emotions don't belong to us. So, like, we're in a campground full of families, Like, so did the words that actually came out of Tyler's mouth, were they even his, or were they every other parent's who's saying, no, no, no? And actually, what an epiphany for me. Like, the first couple of days when we go on, like, when we come here and we go camping, I'm a no mom. I say no to everything. Like is that even mine? Like, oh my God, that didn't even cross my mind. Like, who does this belong to? Because 99% of our thoughts, feelings, and emotions aren't even ours. And so I just had like an aha moment here. So, is anything that Tyler told them they can't do, did any of that even belong to him? Were any of those even his words, half asleep? So, no matter what's going on in your life, no matter what you're supposedly being told what you can and can't do, the only one who has total control over you is you and your choices. Nobody else can. They can try, they can manipulate you, or you can out manipulate them. And so, like, I just told the girls, we talked about these walls yesterday morning. It was a real learning day. It was like a roller coaster day, and in the end it turned out more beautiful than I could have ever imagined. And again, is this what I've been asking for, showing up how I didn't expect? And so I'm like, okay, girls, I'm going down to the beach. I'm probably not going to be there when you wake up, but you have all sorts of fun things you can do. Should we set the toaster out? Let's set the toaster out so that you guys can make breakfast. Here's some plates. And, like, do the things that are safe for you to do. Like, if it feels light for you, you can do it. If you want to go walk across the bridge, go walk across the bridge. If you want to go biking around, go biking around. Just be aware. Not be careful, be aware. Be aware of your surroundings and have fun. Like, have fun. I'm like, we're camping. You guys, we're camping. This is supposed to be fun. Like, everywhere that and life is supposed to be fun, not just camping. Life is supposed to be fun. But we've just decided to make everything such a battle. Like, every morning we wake up and we grunge about the things that we've got to do for the day. We're mad that this person is making us do this and that this person is making us feel this way. Like, we're always like looking at other people and places and things that are responsible for our happiness, but nobody is responsible for our happiness except for us. So I had one page I wanted to read. It's getting pretty warm out here. Manipulation. I know I've talked about it somewhere before, but this morning feels appropriate. So manipulation. If you don't do manipulation, you will be manipulated. And everything that brings up times a gazillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And again, for anyone that's new here, that is the clearing statement from Access Consciousness, which is a body of a whole bunch of tools to simplify your life. Look up accessconsciousness.com. Highly recommend it. And look at the clearingstatement.com for that last right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. It's like a magical wand that every point of view we have may or may not actually even be ours. But somewhere in time, we bought it as real and true from our mom, our dad, our teachers, our siblings, society, etc. And we bought that as real and true for us. And this clearing statement takes that little seed that we planted of this belief and it dissolves it. And so that we have more room for more possibilities and more choices and total freedom, baby. Access Consciousness has truly changed my life. And so that's what a lot of our talks about are, a lot of the tools from Access Consciousness. So manipulation is the one I'm talking about right now. So we have a lot of points of views about manipulation, but I'm here to tell you that yesterday I was out manipulated. Like, my kids are manipulators of magnitude, and they know how to wrap me around their little fingers. And I'm sure many of you out there have children that do the very same thing. And so, how could I out manipulate? Like, how could I have out manipulated my kids yesterday? Like, even like being like the actress of the year, you guys, like, because it really is about being kind too, like telling the other person what they need to hear, because no matter what no matter what I say to the kids, and yesterday was a point proven, like, no matter what I said, because I'm trying to be the mom and I'm trying to be the one that shows them how they have to be, and how they have to eat and all this jazz, like, no matter what I tell them, they're still not going to hear me if I'm just telling them what to do. They're not going to hear me, because we all have our own points of views. Even though we're all in the same vicinity, our realities are all 100% different. The way I'm seeing the situation is totally different than the way Cammie's seeing this situation, which is totally different than the way that Izzy is seeing this situation. And so manipulating is just like telling them what they want to hear, even if it makes you look like you're wrong. Like, but you're not wrong. You're just telling someone what it is that they want to hear. So even just saying to someone that I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I'm wrong and you're right. That's what they need to hear. Then they can like put their barriers down and carry on with their day. And does that make you wrong? No, there's no such thing as right or wrong. There's no good or bad. There's no real or true. Everything is just an interesting point of view. So if you want to simplify your life, learn how to out manipulate those around you, which is actually about being kind. Because seriously, like, picking at someone and like fighting with someone, like, is that kind? Does that make anyone feel better? I can attest that yesterday it certainly did not make any of us feel better, because I needed to be right, and so did they, right? So let the people around you be right. Like, kids need to be right, so let them be right. Like, who's it gonna harm? Everybody wins. You get to sit back and be like, they're happy, so I'm happy. I know I'm not wrong. I know I'm not right. It's just a choice. So everywhere you have decided that manipulation is wrong, bad, terrible, mean, and awful, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Times a gazillion, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. If you think manipulation is bad, then other people will manipulate you. And everything that brings up times a gazillion, I now revoke, recant, rescind, or claim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it all times a gazillion. Everything you've decided about manipulation and how wrong and bad it is, and everywhere you've decided that if you were just honest enough, everything would work out wonderfully with everyone, and everybody would treat you nice. Everything that is times a gazillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. How many of you learned the golden rule? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Humanoids always have the point of view. If I'm just nice enough, everybody will be nice. And if I just be honest about everything and say what really is, and if I just be honest about everything and say what really is for me, everything will work out just fine, and everybody will get what I'm talking about. Everything that brings up times a gazillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And how many of you swore to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God forever? Okay, so every one of you who took those oaths, vows, fealties, communities, swearings, or commitments, will you destroy and uncreate them all? Times a gazillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. When you tell everybody else the truth, you give them the weapons to screw you, and you get screwed because you told the truth. Lie to everybody else and be bluntly honest with yourself. Everything that brought up will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And I realized that this very little page might push a bunch of buttons, and it might make some of you resist and react to what is being said and think that it's wrong. And that's okay. We are really good at lying to ourselves just to make other people happy. So there is that, you know. But the thing is, if everybody's doing that, then who's actually really happy? And everything that brings up times a gazillion. Will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So how can I out-manipulate everybody around me today? How can I use this reality to my advantage? Because here's the thing with my Izzy. She likes to complain. It works for her. I don't know why. It's not my job to figure out. I don't want to understand why she does. But I know that about her. So if I try to stop her from being that person, why would I do that? You know, like if someone's always grumpy and you're always trying to make them not grumpy, you're trying to change who they are. Even if you think you know that you can make that person happier, they're choosing what they're choosing because they're choosing what they're choosing. No other reason other than that. And it is working for them for some reason until it's not. So it's actually hugely unkind for us to think that we know better than other people and we know how to fix them and we know how to make them happy. So that is why if we can just know who people are and know how they're going to react and know how they're going to be in situations, if we know this, we can use that to our advantage. How can I use this reality to my advantage? That will bring about the greatness, bring about more ease and joy and glory to everyone around. The greatest gift you can give someone is allowance for them, an allowance for yourself. You know, like, does it feel good for someone that does complain a lot or is angry a lot? Do you think that, and maybe you're that person. So say I'm this person that likes to complain all the time. If somebody else was constantly nitpicking at me and constantly trying to tell me, you know, if you just did this, you'd be a lot happier. Who the hell wants to hear that? Nobody. So what if you're that person and the other person was just like in total allowance of you and had no point of view, did not resist or react to how you were being, or did not align and agree and be like, oh, you're right, you should, you poor thing. Like, you don't want to hear that either. But what if someone, the person around you, hanging around you, me, yesterday, just had no point of view and just were in total allowance and just let her be the way she was being, still being me, like still, like if I wanted to say no to the candy store or no to this or that, then that's that. But if you're just like, no, I gotta fix this, if someone's always trying to fix you, that is not kind. It is up to each and every one of us to choose our own happiness. And we don't know that that person that is choosing their pile of poop needs that to happen in order for them to discover who they truly be. In order for them to discover that they're doing this thing over and over and over again, and then now it's not working. They're never going to discover that it's not working for them, if that is even what is required to happen, if someone is constantly nitpicking at them. Oh, what a great, grand, and glorious morning. So what if you could be in total allowance of everyone around you, including yourself, and not try to figure out why people are being the way that they're being, not trying to figure out how to make it better, not trying, period. And instead, be that rock in the stream that everything flows through with no point of view. So if people around you today are grumpy, if people around you are whining a lot, if they're sad, if they're anything, what if you could just be an interesting point of view with it all and just remind yourself that they're choosing that because for some reason it's working for them? And instead of going into judgment of I wouldn't do that or that's stupid, why would you choose that? And even saying that to the person, like I say that to Izzy, like, why are you choosing this? Like, that doesn't seem very fun. And what does that do? Makes it way worse. And it made her really upset, and it made her feel bad about the way she was dealing with the situation. That's not kind. That is not kindness. So everywhere that you think that manipulation is wrong and bad, would you be willing to look through a slightly different camera lens and see the beauty and the gift in it for everyone around? And just be in total allowance of everyone and everything in every situation and have fun with it. Like, how can I use this reality to my advantage? This would be a good saying if you are interested today. Anytime you're trying to change someone or fix something or make things better, anytime you're trying, ask yourself this: how can I use this reality to my advantage? And everything that brings up times a gazillion, I now destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And if I wasn't proving, what else would be possible? If I didn't have to be right, what else would be possible? Because I can clearly see that me trying to control the day and fix the day and fix all the people around me and control the people around me, that didn't work. And I did, in the end, we all were kind of able to just laugh about it and talk about it and be okay with it. Like, it happened. And there's no going back and beating yourself up over any of the situations in your life that you're like, I wish I wouldn't have done that. Okay, well, you've got some awareness with it. Now, next time you're in a situation like that, be the question, what is this now? Right? They're choosing what they're choosing because it's working for them. So how can I be with this? How can I use this reality to my advantage? What can I be or do or say here that would just make everyone feel happy, and how could I just not have a point of view? Like, show me no point of view. And all you have to say to yourself over and over again is, interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Like, so when you're just like mad and you're just like, I wish that person would change, I wish they wouldn't be like that, interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view, I have the point of view that I know better how they should feel and act and be than they do in their body, in their life. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Interesting point of view, I have this point of view. It's a lot, and if you can take any little piece of this and apply it to your life today, then I will be happy. But just really be aware of the people around you, and know that they're choosing what they're choosing because they're choosing, and you don't have to figure it out, and you don't have to try to make their lives better. You don't have to try to make them happy. Just be the interesting point of view, and that would be the greatest gift that you can give everyone around you, including yourself, and being in total allowance of you and everyone else. Thank you guys for joining me, and have an amazing day on this grand and glorious Wednesday. I wonder what we'll all get up to today. Who am I today, and what grand and glorious adventures can I get on right away? Take care. Bye.